the fighting. Don't forget.
You think he wants peace? You think Vladimir Putin wants peace? Do you trust him? Do you trust him?
I don't trust you. I don't trust a lot of people. I don't trust you. Look at you. You come in all shooting for bear. You're so happy to do the interview.
I am
and
happy.
Then you start hitting me with fake questions. You start telling me that a guy whose hand is covered with a tattoo doesn't have the tattoo. You know.
All right.
I mean, you're being dishonest.
Donald Trump just whooped the socks off of this reporter at the White House. There's a part of me that wonders, why does Trump even interview with these people? Like, I honestly believe that Donald Trump should just only interview with conservatives. Like, what you're wasting your time interviewing with these people that are opposed to everything you are and what you represent, and they always come on here talking slick, and then it now emboldens Trump to talk crazy to them. All right, so I knew that the media would have a diversity of opinions. Obviously, you can see the interview. The left is targeting Trump and saying nothing but negative things. I don't see anything positive that they say. But me just thinking that in this interview isn't enough. You got to look at the articles. Now, right here, I'm going to go down and look at the left articles and see the difference. If you look at the left, and I'm going to go down to the one that was the most egregious here. It says 100 days in, Trump is flailing. What make them think? Why would they use flailing? The Trump administration's first 100 days, major policy shifts, legal battles, and controversies. If you only watch this, you'll think something is wrong. Trump has reshaped these three major things in the first 100 days. But you go to the conservative side, what does it say? It says demolition, restoration, and then real deal revolution. That sounds good. You go to the first 100 days of Trump is overturning world order. It's all positive. This is why you need to check both sides so you're not looking like a fool, because everything is perfect on this side, everything is wrong on this side. But let's not forget the blind spots. Don't get blind spotted, right? These Democrats aren't writing about this article at all. Here's an example. 3 House Democrats asked to be removed from Trump's impeachment resolution. Why? You wouldn't even know that existed. All right, you go down and look at some other ones. It'll say May Day protest against the Trump administration expected nationwide. What to do? You know, that's a leftist utopian dream, but nobody on the right is even talking about this. It's almost as if it's irrelevant. So make sure you guys subscribe through my link at ground.news/Tatum or download the mobile app and use offer code Tatum for 40% off the unlimited Vantage plan to see through media bias and stay informed. Here's a perfect example. And I got another critique that Trump said that he was actually incorrect about, but I love him anyway. Roll the clip.
Okay, let's move on to immigration. And as you said, it is an undeniable fact that illegal crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods. And so I want to ask...
About my message?
Methods. About your methods. How you're accomplishing
They seem to work.
Do you acknowledge that under our law, every single person who gets deported gets a hearing first to make their case?
Well, are we talking about people that are citizens of our country or not?
No, you aren't deporting citizens at this point.
Well, let me ask you, did they get hearings when Biden allowed 21 million, because I think the number is 20 million people to flow into our country? You had 21 million people that came into our country through a stupid open border, and they were prisoners, and they were people that you don't want in many cases in our country, right? They came from all over the world. They came from the Congo. They came from South. They came from all over the world. We're talking about some of the roughest countries in the world. They had here, including terrorists, by the way. Now,
but
did we give them a hearing when they came in? Well, they're going to murder people. They already have murdered people in our country.
Trump made an incredible point. Don't miss it. I honestly believe that if you did not go through the court system to get in here, you don't get the court system going out of here. I don't know how that's not like common sense. If you snuck in here, you're gonna go out the way you came. If you came in here and you had a legitimate hearing, you were fighting for asylum, and you went through the process and you overstayed your welcome here, then I would argue I'm okay with them saying you have to go back and be reintroduced into the court because we already started court proceeding pertaining to this person. You snuck over here. how do you then end up getting a court proceeding when you snuck? You are not in the system. We should just send you back. You didn't go through the system to get here. How do you get the system? You didn't go through due process to get here. Roll it.
Right, so we have to get them out, and we have to get them out fast.
Really bad guys, but in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal. They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out. When we have criminals, murderers, criminals in this country, we have to get them out, and we're doing it.
By law.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well,
over that.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not
Don't
have the
do that.
letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
Yeah, that was Photoshopped. So let me
That
just...
was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture. We'll
and you think it
agree
was
to disagree.
Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He
Fair
had
enough.
MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine.
No.
This is where these people are disingenuous. Donald Trump was inaccurate because, and I don't know if Donald Trump heard what he said correctly, but the MS-13 was photoshopped. And it wasn't photoshopped to be disingenuous. This was a picture that showed the drawings, and it interpreted for you so you could see that it was MS-13, meaning that it had a symbol that meant M, so they put an M above the symbol. It had a symbol that meant S, 1 and 3. This was edited onto his hand as a marker to determine what this means. Trump was slightly inaccurate if he thought that these were actual tattoos. They put that on there not to make them the tattoo, but to acknowledge that this is what these mean. So if you were to go and look at this picture and you were in a room, a debriefing with the FBI or any gang task force, they have special letters that mean special things. And in order for them to accurately display items that are evidence of being a part of a gang, they probably would write it out just like this, meaning that the picture would be on the wall and they would write the letters and numbers that correlate with the tattoos. So a person may have this on there, so they write MS-13, which means the MS-13 gang. Some people may have other tattoos, and all they do is write what it means, which reads out a certain thing. Donald Trump was inaccurate if he thought that there was actually MS-13 on his hand. It was really just the designs that meant MS-13. However, the guy that's talking to him is downplaying this and saying it can be interpreted. No, the federal government that handle gang tattoos interprets the gang tattoos the way they see it on every gang member. Put the thing back up there. Who would have this on their knuckles? What? There's not a random tattoo combination of a marijuana leaf. I can't see the rest of it because the camera's blocking.
Smiley face, a cross, and a skull.
A smiley face, a cross, and a skull. Conveniently on their knuckles in that order. There is no such thing as somebody randomly going to a tattoo artist and say, I just so happen to love marijuana, a smiley face, and put this on here in the same order on my fingers. And just so happen, that's MS-13 gang membership. Nobody has these tattoos on your knuckles. And I'll tell you this, and I'm not an expert, but I got common sense. There's a reason why it's on his knuckles right here. That's also a part of the affiliation diagnosis. And then he had a bull's hat. The bull's hat is indicia of him being a part of this particular gang. The people that do this for a living, they do this for a living, y'all. You got to be stupid to think this is coincidental. And this guy had been determined to be an MS-13 gang member by 2 judges. He got caught up and arrested with other MS-13 gang members at one point when he got caught up. He's fleeing the country and said he can't go back to El Salvador because of the MS-13 gang. What are we saying here? Finish the interview.
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't
Take a look
there,
at the
but
photograph.
they're there now, right?
No,
but
they're in
now.
your picture.
Time out.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS.
Time out. He said they weren't there when he was in El Salvador. 2 things is afoot. His girlfriend or wife, in every photo that we've seen on the internet, she conveniently puts heart emojis over his hand. Why? They hugging and the heart emojis is right here over his hand.
Also, his right hand is above the left hand as well, so you could purposely cover that.
And then doing it like this, whatever. And also, you can remove tattoos. I don't know if people. He probably he could have gotten a surgery to get that removed in the process of him getting deported. I don't know. But this sorry son of a gun ain't got no pictures or nothing of none of that. He just talking. Roll the clip.
MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
We'll take a look at that.
It's you do
We'll take a
such a
look at that.
disservice.
We'll take a look at
Why
that,
don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.
Because we know why he wouldn't say it. Because these people are implicit. They can't give Trump a win. They go into the interview with a I got you. I'm going to try to get a gotcha moment. They're not going into the interview to really do anything reasonable. Show me an interview, and I'll sell everything in this building and give it to you. Show me an interview where somebody's really going hard against Joe Biden like this. Show me an interview. Joe Biden, like nobody even interviewed Joe Biden about the deportation thing, about illegal aliens flooding into our country. Nobody sat down and interviewed and pressed him on any of that stuff. Nobody pressed him on the fact that he probably had dementia. Nobody pressed him on the fact that inflation was out of control. Nobody pressed him on any of those things. Nobody pressed him on the fact that he commuted the sentences and gave presidential pardons to everybody in his family. You know how crooked that is? Nobody pressed him on it. Nobody pressed him on the top secret documents he had in his home, which you can see on a video in his garage, unsecured. Nobody questioned him at all on none of that stuff. I'd never seen a sit-down interview where they got in his ashy elbows on any of those topics. I've never seen it from CNN. I've never seen it from anybody. Nobody got in his about any of this stuff. But on Donald Trump, the guy's disrespectful and like you want to fight Trump in the Oval Office, but never had a conversation with Biden about that. Let's go to the next clip real quick. Is it the same one? Same interview?
Yeah, but it's about different things. It's Russia and Canada. I just put it as
Let's go to that clip one. It's a continuation of that interview.
Canadian. I understand you just had a phone call with a new Canadian premier, and they just had this election.
Yeah.
You were a big issue in it, and Canadians, many of them, are really angry, furious about your talk about we're going to take over, Canada's going to become the 51st
Let's
state.
step around.
And it kind of is of a piece. A lot of travel is down into the United States from around the world. It
We're doing
feels
great.
like there's been reputational
Country's
damage.
doing great.
Well,
Prices are down.
not the tourism
Gasoline's down. Energy's down. Tourism is going to be way up. Wait till you see the numbers. The tourism is way up.
Not now.
Now Canada, tourism's doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very well. Wait till you see the real numbers come out in 6 months from now. Wait till you see the numbers.
But do you
the fighting? Don't
you
forget.
think he wants
this
peace?
Is
You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
I think he does, yes. I think he
Still.
does. I think because
Even with the
of
raining
me,
missiles
I
on.
think he really his dream was to take over the whole country. I think because of me, he's not going to do that.
Do you trust
I
him?
think-
Do you trust him?
I don't trust you. I don't trust a lot of people. I don't trust you. Look at you. You come in all shooting for bear. You're so happy to do the interview.
I am
And then
happy.
you start hitting me with fake questions. You start telling me that a guy whose hand is covered
All right,
with a
we're back to
tattoo doesn't have the tattoo, you know.
All right.
I mean, you're being dishonest.
No,
But-
I'm not.
but Let me
No, I
just
am
tell
not,
you,
sir.
I don't trust a lot of people. But I do think this. I think that let's say he respects me. And I believe because of me, he's not going to take over the whole. But his decision, his choice would be to take over all of Ukraine.
Okay.
It's a war that never should have happened.
Do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country again. We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across a stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right. Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you.
He don't care. That's one thing I like about Trump. Even though sometimes I'm like, man, when he get into these fights with people, I don't know if he's punching beneath him, but I love that he's whooping him over the head and he's not afraid to just say how it is, because I think we all feel that way. Like, just tell them like it is. Why you sugarcoating it? They fake. They one of the worst. Because the way he was in Donald Trump's face and saying all that, I just. Why wouldn't he press Biden, or why wouldn't that guy press Biden about him falling up and down stairs and stuff? And then when he say something stupid like, no, I'm totally fine. No, you're not fine. Why don't you do a medical review? I don't know, but you won't do a medical review. Joe Biden, why did you drop out of the race? Like, you did it from an email. You didn't even come out to the public and say, I'm not going to be in the race anymore. But they wouldn't do it. They only do it to Trump. They only do it to Trump. And it's incredibly sad and unfortunate.